What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counter Punch Boxing News, and of course, you guys know that it's fight week, so it's time for a breakdown of Anthony Joshua versus Joseph Parker. This is the fight study, okay? The strengths and weaknesses between both guys. I'm gonna start with Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua's strengths: he has the height, he definitely has the power. He has the skill also, the boxing IQ. I would give it to Anthony Joshua also. Those are his advantages. Now, his weaknesses or disadvantages would be speed, okay? And a lot of times the speed comes to the fact he comes in too heavy. You know, I think he needs to slim down a lot in order to be effective in certain fights. You know, we learned from the Klitschko fight, he came in a lot heavier than normal and he gassed out. We all saw that, and you know, so that affects your stamina and it affects your speed. So it's a double whammy negatively. So he should definitely watch his weight. What else? Chin. You know, he has kind of a fishy chin, Anthony Joshua. You know, the hard category, you can't, you know, there's no denying that. But he got caught with punches that I think that, again, is due to fatigue, you know, instead of boxing IQ. He was in with a bigger guy that was parallel to him, which he won't be in this fight, going against Parker. This fight so much reminds me of Lennox Lewis and David Tua. You know what I mean? The same foundation. British champion versus, well, they're both champions, versus, you know, the Samoan warrior, you know, undefeated warrior. David Tua wasn't undefeated when he fought Lennox Lewis, but he only had one loss to his credit at that time. And it was a very good loss to Ika Baribuchi, which was one of the best fights of that era. However, these guys do remind me of each other. You know, Joshua being a lot taller than Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker, I see Joseph Parker's advantages actually being speed. Second, endurance. I think he has a good chin. I think that he takes punches really well as a heavyweight. You know, the only question is, how will he take Anthony Joshua's punch? That's the big question mark for me, that, you know, I can't just size that up. But as far as I know, you know, I really haven't seen Joseph Parker rocked. I've seen him when he did step up in competition against Ruiz Jr. You know, he did take a lot of good punches from Ruiz, because Ruiz was one of the counter punchers in that fight. He was counter punching Joseph, because Joseph was the aggressor. You know, he pressed the action. So since he pressed the action, I've seen that he was taking those punches rather well. The only problem would be, why didn't he take out Ruiz? Because he hit Ruiz with just as many punches. You know, so that lets me know, unless Ruiz has a steel ton jaw, that his punching power isn't the best. So it's not, his category wouldn't be punching power. He has power, you know, don't get it twisted. And then, because the thing is, he's an underrated puncher, you know, and it depends on how his punch can affect Joshua and how Joshua's punch can affect his. That's what really is it all about, because it's the chemistry between two guys. You know, it's just like between, you know, a man and a woman in a relationship. You know, the chemistry between two people. You know, how this fight will turn out. What else? So, speed, endurance, and really heart. I would say I would give that to Joshua. Now, the keys of victory are a totally different thing, because we all know what they should do, but what will they do? And what they should do will be, Anthony Joshua needs to establish his jab. One thing I noticed in the Ruiz fight, that whenever Joseph Parker, he wouldn't use his jab. When he wouldn't use his jab, he would get countered, or he'd get caught with Ruiz's jab, because Ruiz, despite his, you know, Ruiz was in terrible shape, though, man. You know, I just got to say that. But, you know, Parker likes to scrap. He likes to throw combinations, which is a plus, you know, but he doesn't use his fundamentals at all times. When he doesn't do that, he gets caught. And if he pulls that with Anthony Joshua, will get caught with a jab and will get tested that chin of his. So we will know right away if he does start pawing with his jab and starts, just throwing or raking with left hooks, because he doesn't like to use or set up his left hook. He likes to just kind of paw it out there to set up his right hand. Joseph Parker's, his power is mostly in his right. If you notice, he will throw a straight right, a overhand right, or a right hook, and then an uppercut. He loves that uppercut coming in the inside, or he can throw it outside. And you'll notice he'll set up the jab. Now that's one punch that he will set up with the jab is the uppercut. And both guys have great uppercuts. Look at Joshua's own uppercut. It is pretty good. But I see these guys going in. Joseph Parker, he has to actually get in the inside and throw combinations. He likes to work the body, which is a plus, because it can take out juice from Anthony Joshua if Anthony Joshua hasn't taken him seriously, which I think he has. But, a lot of times people will say, I don't take him seriously. I'm focused on the opponent in front of me. But, when they get in the ring, it'll tell with the resume of how they worked out, So we'll see what happens with that. But Joshua just needs to really use his jab, use his boxing fundamentals, and focus on his power, and don't gas himself out. He should take Anthony Parker out, because Anthony Parker has really no special effects. He has a good chin. He does throw combinations. Now, he does have a finisher's mentality when he gets someone hurt. I notice when Parker does get his fighters hurt, he hits his fighters with a lot of punches, and then those punches, you could tell that they don't affect that fighter like it should. A lot of his fights were stopped due to just accumulation of punches. But it seems like to me, he shouldn't have to hit a guy with that many punches to go down if he had the amount of power. However, again, each and every person that steps in the ring is different. These guys might have been tough bastards. He might hit Anthony Joshua, and Anthony Joshua's chin might not like the way Parker's punch feels to it. So you really can't just cross that out. But Joseph Parker has speed, and he's going to need it, because he's going to have to get under that jab, since he doesn't really use his jab a lot, except just to set up the uppercut, and a right hand, so he would have to use that to rip body punches and get in the inside, and possibly can set up that uppercut, the same uppercut that dropped Klitschko that Anthony Joshua gave to Klitschko. So the uppercut will be a factor in this fight, I guarantee it. Anthony Joshua has to just keep him busy with the jab. Really, I see Anthony Joshua should be winning, but it depends on what punch does to what fighter. And it's not really who hits who first. It really matters on how their punches affect each other. Because if Joseph Parker can take Anthony Joshua's punch, which I think he can. I think, Anthony Joshua is a hard hitter, but he's not like a Deontay Wilder. He doesn't have that one knockout punch. He has that type of punch that'll hurt you, then he can finish you. Joseph Parker has the kind of punches that gradually break you down, and he throws a lot of punches, So if he can come conditioned like he's supposed to, like he should, he can get up under there and make it a good fight, because he loves to scrap. He loves to exchange punches. So if his punching power can hurt Joshua, he can upset Joshua. It can happen. The question is, will it happen? Okay, so that's what we're dealing with these two fighters. That's pretty much it with these two guys, because everyone's talking about Wilder, but again, I say this again and again. Joshua cannot overlook Parker being an undefeated fighter. Because that would be the fighter that no one sees winning all the belts. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just gonna leave that there. But you guys tell me what you think about these two fighters. And you guys been Counterpunch. Please subscribe.